Hey out there, welcome to this week's Training Tuesday. I'm Heidi Reese, the Training Programs Manager for Dayton Superior and Symons, and I want to thank you for taking the time out to attend our training. We're so glad that you're here. So before we get started, I would like to review some housekeeping items. I want to remind you that everyone who has joined the call has joined muted so that the presentation can be conducted without any outside disturbances, but I don't want that to stop you from interacting with me as far as through the Zoom functionality of the chat or the question and answer. And we'll definitely have a mini question and answer session at the very end of our topic today. As a reminder as well, each of our webinars are recorded and placed on the Dayton Superior YouTube channel and our DaytonSuperior.com website. Just search for Training Tuesday and you will see a link to all the past webinars, as well as another one for signing up for the next one. Okay, so this presentation that we're about to go over is intended for training purposes only. So anything that we are going to discuss as far as products, please go out and review the technical specifications on the products mentioned on DaytonSuperior.com. You know what, Chuck? I paused because I'm always talking about extra training, but should I say that this time? I'm gonna. If you need extra training, please talk to us at training@daytonsuperior.com. So these are subsets of products to get you understanding what we offer, how we can fix a solution for you, any challenges that you may have, just let you know that things are out here. And obviously as a way to train for application, for use, for safety, all of that, as much as we can within 25 minutes of good content. So we provide you with the ability to get in touch with Mr. Chuck or our other experts, and you can do that through training@daytonsuperior.com to get the ball rolling on a more lunch and learn or customized, you name it, we can provide that for you. In addition, who the heck is Dayton Superior? If you guys don't know, we are the leading provider of engineered solutions for the concrete construction industry. So as you know, we have the forming that we're going to talk about today, the forming and shoring. In addition, we have products of accessories, chemicals, forming, like I said, and here's all of the product lines that are under those. So we have the Dayton brand, but we also have the Superior tilt-up, as well as the precast bridge deck. Bridgeworks is our latest and greatest that we've just launched. The Symons side, we've got the forming systems, as well as the additional shoring systems. And as a segue, we are going to be talking about the DeckFast system. And here to discuss that with us is none other than Mr. Chuck Hoke, our National Product Training Manager. And he has been around for 50 years in this industry. So he knows the ups and downs and changes and whatnots. And he's learned and grown as he has to, and he's quite diverse with all the concrete construction products, the different scenarios, terminologies, you name it. And recently, I say 20 years, he's been with Dayton Superior. 30. Oh, because 20 years was as a dealer. You're right, with accessories, and he was the first chemical dealer. Yeah, heck, man, that's where the 50 comes from.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can't do math without Excel, apparently. So, you know what? Enough about that. Let's talk about DeckFast shoring system, Chuck, shall we?
All right. Thank you, Heidi. At least you didn't say I was older than dirt.
Chuck, not nice.
So today we're going to talk about the DeckFast shoring system. This is one of the components within the Symons brand of products. We are looking at this is a fully modular system. It's a panelized system. It assembles 4 times faster than conventional shoring. It also has 2 primary components, which makes life very easy with this system. Increased productivity with a large 180 by 180 standard panel, which is 6 by 6. The aluminum frame is light and easy to set up. Typically what you will have is panels with a plywood face and an extruded aluminum frame. So you will see here, you get clear heights of this up to about 19 foot. And I want to say you can actually pour concrete up to 22 inches thick on top of it. So it is an extremely strong system and it's fairly easy to assemble. Typical panel nomenclature, you've got the panel with the plywood face. Here, you've got all of your center rib going down here, and that once again, that is an extruded aluminum. So it is light but strong. The side rails, you've got the cross members and the end rails. And there is no top or bottom with this system. You know, there is basically a left and a right, and so forth. So it really is a simple system to assemble. We do have the standard 6x6 is the standard panel, which will have most projects covered. We also have a 90 by 75, and a 180 by 45 and a 90 by 45. And those are typically going to be used either as termination panels or between your wall and where you're going to have a run of panels running through. So, and you can also have fillers that we can put in there that you can develop the finished space so you don't have like round columns, et cetera, that may be a little more difficult to form up. So you can actually use standard 3/4 inch plywood to actually deck around that. We also offer all the forming from underneath it to actually support that plywood. We also have, and you will need post shores on this system for reshore in particular. So typically you're looking at for 350 post shore, we'll go up to 6 foot 6 inches. We'll handle up to about 6,500 pounds, depending on how tall you have the system out. The longer you extend it, the weaker it is. The 550 post shore typically will go from 10 foot to 18 foot. And that's also the same criteria. The longer you have it, the longer you extend it out, the weaker it gets. But those two pole shores are the basically the second phase of DeckFast, where DeckFast will come in where you will pour the system. You will then remove the panels and shoring from underneath, and then reshore with the post shore. So the bearing and edge support post shores that we have for the uh, DeckFast system. We have the edge support bearing tube. We also have a bearing plate tube. So it's either going to be one or the other. Typically, if on an edge support bearing, this is where you're going to have the pipe all the way up against the wall. You're going to set your panel right up so it's going to fit snug against the wall. Uh, each one of these is instrumental in tying the panelized system to the support plate, the support bearing, the 350 or 550 port shore. So typically what you are going to see here is the bearing, what I'll call the bearing point, that's going to be a four-way intersection. Wherever you have four panels that are going to intersect, you're going to have a post shore obviously there, and the post shore will actually have a uh, bearing plate up on top of it with four nubs sticking up, and each nub will intersect with one of the corners from each one of the panels that intersect at that corner. You then have fine release pin, a quick release pin. This also enables you to actually screw the post in to get your final adjustment for height as whatever you're required. The post shore release pin typically goes, if it's all the way knocked in, it's ready to go. If it comes all the way out and can fall down, it is not correct. You don't want that because that'll actually mean that you don't have any connectivity or there's no locking of that lock nut in position. So for corners, you're going to see either a single edge, a single pin bearing right at that point. Now, a lot of times you may not have this in situation. I see a lot of guys actually using like either a ledger. They'll actually put a uh, wood ledger in place here and tap and power shoot it into the wall so that they can actually have a good bearing surface to set the panel on top of. Or what they will do is they will actually put a shear wall bracket in place to support that uh, panel right against the wall. This way the panel slides all the way up against the wall. You've got a little bit of bearing room to work with it there. But that actually is a quick and easy way to do it, especially if you can't get a single bearing point post right up against the wall for whatever reason. Now, this system actually comes with tripods that can actually surround that post shore. And what it does is just help stabilize that so that it won't be kicked out left or right. It actually holds it into position. We also have a head support shoe, which is for deck, basically placed on the DeckFast edge, help support bearing for lumber or plywood if needed. We've also got a guardrail receptacle for those termination panels where you're gonna have an open area. But you wanna make sure that for guys working up on it, that we keep everybody safe and sound, and the guardrail receptacle bracket works for that. So some of the details that you will see on this system here. You got the post shores in place here. You've got two of them set up with tripods. The third one is set up just as a straight panel going up in place with a support and a mid support. Uh, this is pretty typical for what you're going to see through us if you're looking through a structure. Um, if you're looking at an end of a structure, this is what you're going to see. That tripod can then be opened up a little bit on the leg so that it will accommodate right up against the wall with it. Uh, Once again, you don't have to have the tripods on every post shore. You can actually go every other post shore, and you will see where we'll actually have a cage that will actually transfer from one side to the other just to help to give some lateral support with these systems also. Here you can see we've actually re, in this system here, in this between the panels, we actually had to accommodate with a job site filler. So what we did is actually created a job site filler with lumber, 4x4s put in place, and plywood put on top of that to actually accommodate the span between those panels. And a lot of times what that may be is an area that is uh, not accessible with all of the, from the ground all the way up. So we couldn't put a panel in there, or there wasn't be enough panel to run all the way up. So you're either gonna have the spiller in the middle or out towards the outer edge. Some contractors like to put it in the middle, and they'll just build a quick little job site filler to actually accommodate their needs for this. And here you can see where we also do this on a edge panel where we poured the concrete walls. We're coming in up against the walls, pour the deck slab. You can actually use a post shore, uh, block another 4x4 on top of it. You actually have a 2x ledger by the contractor shot into the side of the wall. Typically they use a power shot, or they'll use like a drop-in type insert and bolt it into place. You are looking at here the guardrail receptacle detail. The panel comes out to the edge. You actually insert the guardrail, DeckFast guardrail bracket onto it, and basically a 2x4 running vertically and some 2x4 horizontally. This accommodates a guardrail receptacle meeting OSHA requirements for fall protection. So this is one of the safety features within this system. And remember, I talked earlier about having a lateral support system. Well, here's a 180 brace frame. Typically, if you're using a 180 by 180 panel, you've got a basically 180 centimeter span from one post short to the next post short. We actually have a frame that will accommodate running from post short 1 to post short 2. This actually helps keep the vertical alignment of the system intact. We also have a vertical beam for if we have to have a larger wood insert in place. This can be put in, attached to the edge of the forms and actually put a wood filler in the center of it so you can nail to it, put your plywood down, attach it, and you're ready to go. We also have a timber brace clamp, which typically a lot of times guys will use a lumber bracing in post shore instead of using like an X brace or anything like that to run through from from post shore to post shore. They will attach a timber brace clamp. This enables them to just use a standard you know, 2x4, 2x6 material, put it in place, and they can clamp it and tighten it up in place. So you can use a variety of different lumber, or you can use the same piece of lumber multiple times. This system here is very quick and easy. Typically two people, start up one, set the panel up on the bearings from below, take 180 by 180 panel. Two people have to carry it, set it up. They will set the two far corners up on top of the post shore, over the top of the pins that I mentioned that from the post shore. And then what they'll do is they will actually come back to uh, with a erection rod that typically will come in, slide in and underneath the panel to pick it up while this one employee is picking that panel up. The other employee is grabbing post shores to bring in, and he will slide a new post shore with a 4-post head on it to come back in and collect the two panels side up by side and the one that they're working on. Once the post shores are in place, they will remove the erection bar, and that will then be moved to the next panel as they progress along. Typically, you see this system here is done on a lot of smaller multi-lift structures. You don't see this system on the big 8, 10, 12 systems. Because yes, there are faster systems, there are easier systems to use. But this one here is one of the easiest, least trained, least training requirement for the system because it's a very simple repetitive function as far as assembly with this system. Typically, you're going to start in the corner, starting panel, always in the corner, as it seems to be a typical statement. Where do you always start? Start in the corner. You always know what that dimension is from there out. So here you are looking at a wall dimension. You see the contractor here has put from 1 foot out from the wall center. He has actually put a bearing plate underneath, and that's where the panel is going to sit, along with the post shore. Then what'll happen is he sets up his post shore on the other end, drops his panel in place, and connects it, and gets you that 6 foot by 6 foot panel already up and in place. Once that is completed, you can continue on to the next panel, And as you can see, typical drawings are going to be very easy to follow. You start with a 180 by 180. You may have to go to a filler of 60 by 180 or 90 by 180 or 45 by 180. Depends on what the job requirements are. So typically what you've got here is the panel details are listed. You know exactly where your post shore is going to be, where your what panels you have to use where. And these typically get brought in, and we use a section detail here with the cross members going in. You got our post shore frame, especially when you're going from a 180 to like a 60, you want it, or a 90 by 180. You like to have that tie down frame basically as a shoring point. What that's going to do is give you some vertical alignment, or I should say horizontal alignment with the system. Uh, so that it actually gives you a little bit more stability so that you don't have to worry about the post shore kicking out. The faux shorts and cantilever details here, fairly simple and straightforward. You're going to cantilever out through. Now you may have a tie down bracket on the panels, but you can connect to the side rails fairly quick and easy. These run down through and tie off to the cross with the tie down frame. Uh, the tie down frame basically is similar to a bracing frame, but it actually is a little bit shorter, a little bit stronger, and horizontal stability. And what's that doing is protecting the frame, the top frame, from when people are walking out on the cantilever section from it rocking and moving. If so be the situation that you've got room to work, this is actually probably the most preferred method how to actually do a cantilever. Actually put another post shore in place, drop your guardrail receptacle right up off the top of it, put a bulkhead in to actually form your floor slab. This is probably a more typical section of what we do see, but occasionally you won't have this luxury, depending on parking structures typically don't follow this. We don't get this lucky. It just uh, it's just another way that you can actually form it up and go from there. This one system here is very good for doing parking ramps. So as you go into a ramp where you're coming up through, this system is very easy to accommodate a little bit of a skew within the panels coming up or move going down, depending on which direction you're looking at. You get edges trapped in place with the bearing plate. You may have to tie, if you put multiple shores together, especially where forms are going to come in and make that bend. You may take a couple wraps of 12 gauge tie wire, wrap it around just to actually help secure it in place. Uh, just it's one of those extra little similar to putting like a nylon strap in and around it, just to actually keep it contained. Or drop head details typically are going to be formed up with post shores going in place. You're going to have a standard panel connection coming in with a wood filler built up on top. Put the bottom of your drop head where it's going to come into place. Shore that as an independent panel. So you will have 3 post shores on that. And what you will do is you will bulkhead it and actually form it up as you would here with basically where the side rail and the bulkhead are both going to be the side, the common practice within this system. Now, when we start to look at this project layout, this is pretty typical what you are going to see. Uh, Fairly very busy to look at. But once you start laying it out, you will notice that you only have a couple of small details that you actually have to worry about that are kind of uh, job bill fillers required, et cetera, are all labeled out here. Typically, they're going to be in some of the column areas, et cetera. But this is something that our engineering group will actually put through forward with you. And if you need any assistance on any of the projects from once they get to this point, your sales rep can actually be out on site to help you with the erection of this panel, these panels. So typical erection process, applications are going to be, the panels are going to be shipped here in pallets. So they will be able to be carted in and around the site for easy mobility and basically assembly, disassembly. So then you can repalletize them, slide them all the way out to the end to move them up to the next lift. You can see a simple, here's around a column area here, a little bit of man-made. You had to have a drop head coming in a little bit here with some additional shoring requirements here. These look like some good size 4x6 lumber, 4x8 lumber on top of it. These systems here are very accommodating. I mean, standard material, 3/4 plywood and standard dimensionalized lumber. Typical application here, like I said, multi-story parking structures, high-rise, etc. These systems here are very good, quick and fast for easily assemble. Very little training is required because this project is repetitive time and time again. So with that, what do we have available for you on this system? We are looking at DeckFast safety systems. We have an application guide readily available. We also have TDSs available, not to mention our full strength and capacity of our engineering department available to help you with this system. If you are interested in this system and you're thinking you need a little bit more training, scan the QIR code here. And actually let Heidi and myself know that you're looking for some DeckFast training. We can set up a training with either myself or one of the other experts that we have within this system. But we can do a lunch and learn, custom training, AIA, engineer, in-person, virtual, contractor, job site, etc. So we can cover the full wrath of what you are looking for and with the training situation. So if you do have any questions, please feel free to enter it in the chat program right now and we will answer those right straight out. If you think about something later on that you have on here, feel free to actually contact us at training@DaytonSuperior.com. We typically get back to you as soon as, usually we check these every day so we know how many come in. As soon as they come in, we try to get them right back out to you. So any questions you may have, feel free to ask.
Yeah, thank you, Chuck, for that. So just a reminder while you guys are putting your questions in, we record all of these. This guy will be out in about, I don't know, about an hour or so. So if you know someone who couldn't make it or wants to see it, then you can go out to our DaytonSuperior.com site and review that as well. Doesn't look like we have any questions. You did a good job, mister.
Yeah.
Pretty simple product, which is good, right? Because then like you and I can do it.
It's a very easy hands-on system.
Looks it. Okay, well, I think, oh, we got one. Let me make sure. We got a couple. Hi, Chucks. Oh, hi, Heidi. Come on, people. Just kidding. I would hi, Chuck as well. All right. So guys, thank you so much for joining our Training Tuesday today. And I hope to see you next week. And thank you for my hi, Heidi as well. And thanks, Chuck. And we'll see all you guys next week. Bye now.
Bye now.